Frieden, move your big ass head out of the But I swear to God, man, she keeps pissing me off. Anyways, hello guys. Even though I have seen my fair share of anime, yikes, I still actually haven't watched one of the biggest titles ever, Dragon Ball. I've always hated Dragon Ball, mainly because of its fan base. To be fair, you cannot blame me. Like, come on. When all you hear is, but can he beat Goku? Some people in this fan base are the most obnoxious people ever. To the point where the whole anime community kinda makes fun of these people, you know? And it has been like this for, I feel like a few years right now. I'm not making this video to talk about this, but rather to talk about what I think after watching Dragon Ball for myself for the first time. Mind you, I have only watched the original Dragon Ball, and I'm around halfway Dragon Ball Z. If you would like me to make more videos like this, where I watch stuff and give my opinion, then please leave a like, subscribe. Also leave a comment about what you think of Dragon Ball or what I should review next. No spoilers, of course. Alright, let's get into it. Ever since I reached a certain age, I've become less interested in shonen shows, and especially the ones which are really basic. I mean, come on, it's Dragon Ball. But you know, I should give credit where credit is due, since Dragon Ball is one of the godfathers of shonen. I was really surprised to find out it was made in 1986, instead of the initial 1999 that I thought of. Like, what? I didn't even know it was this old, honestly. To make it more clear, this show was aired during the golden age of anime. You can look at the other series that came out during this time period. Like, you have Kinnikuman, you have Dr. Slump, which is the same author as Dragon Ball. You have Visit on Northern Star, Urusei Yatsura, and Captain Tsubasa, you name it. These are all big titles. So it just goes to show what was releasing in this time period. This is like an actual crazy lineup. That being said, in this time period, it was more common to have a long ongoing series instead of the usual 12 to 24 episodes that we have nowadays. Enough about me geeking out about the history. Let me tell you what I think of Dragon Ball after watching it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Do I think the amount of hate is justified for this series? Not really. Maybe this will change after I actually finish Dragon Ball Z. But how I see it is that the show is just a fun watch and shouldn't be taken that serious, you know? Especially after witnessing all the gag humor shown in the show. I don't think it's that deep, you know? I really don't think. I, however, honestly don't think I will last long if this keeps up in Dragon Ball Z, but as I was writing the script, I only finished Dragon Ball and I didn't really start Dragon Ball Z, but right now I can tell you it's not as prominent in Dragon Ball Z, so it's fine. I don't mind it. It's just a personal preference, of course. It's, you know, it's always quite hard to get into a long show when we are used to the, you know, standard we have nowadays with the 12 episodes or 24 episodes and the quality we have nowadays as well, you know. I mean, Chainsaw Man movie just came out. Honestly, absolute cinema. You should watch it if you didn't. What I'm saying is the quality of today's standards is so high that it's just really hard to get into a long ongoing anime series from back then, especially when it has also filler episodes, you know. Some shows are just borderline even unwatchable when you try to rewatch it after, you know, reminiscing about the good old times when you were watching the show. Trust me, I've been there. I can give a very great example. Do not rewatch Toradora. Do not do that. Trust me, just keep the fond memories to yourself and don't rewatch it because you will be disappointed. It was pretty hard for me to watch, but I still went through it because I felt like it was fair for me to give at least, you know, a good shot. And, you know, I did use the arrow button a few times to skim, 10 seconds forward a little bit because, you know, the show can be really slow at times, and that's just the thing in old shows. I did the same in One Piece. My point being is I used it sometimes and it wasn't that bad because I could still follow the story without missing too much. So hey, it is what it is, man. You can you can blame me all you want, you can flame me all you want, but I did pay attention. So you know long shows just really hard to watch nowadays, so I wouldn't really recommend anyone kind of doing this. But hey, who am I to, you know, say what you need to do? You can if you want to, of course. Old anime had no chill back in the day, man. Like, I'm being dead ass right now. And with that, I mean the stuff they show in the anime. What the fuck you mean? Goku and Krillin have their shaboing boing on full display, bro. Like, they did not care at all. And, you know, to also add to this, the female characters are so sexualized in older shows, aka Bulma and some other like female characters in Dragon Ball. You know, in the beginning of Dragon Ball, she is 16, I think, and come on, this shit is not needed, man. It's not needed. I'm saying old shows and not specifically Dragon Ball, because this isn't the first time it has happened, or I have seen it happen in anime, you know? An old anime at least, because when I watched Golden Boy or Perfect Blue, it was still there, you know. So like 90s and 80s anime had like no chill in like showing stuff. It is off-putting, you know, especially in a show like Dragon Ball. I don't think it is needed. I feel like they added stuff like this to not think about plot holes. They would be like, oh, Master Roshi is helping out Goku, but why? Yeah, no, I don't know actually. Why not make him just a, you know, the biggest pervert ever and let him ask Bulma to show him some stuff? Like, oh, it's like, oh, he's gonna help out the gang, but what will the gang give in return? Bulma's panties, of course. Yeah. Like, what are we doing? I feel like this stuff cannot slide in this day and age, man. Like, anime nowadays still have weird stuff. Most of these don't have this, you know, this thing going on. If it's a weird show, you will definitely know from the get-go. I don't feel like this was needed, especially not to represent like actual reasons.
今天做车去关平安呢。
Ages make no sense. I mean, it still doesn't quite, but in hindsight it does. Because in the beginning, Goku was like 12. He went to train for 3 years. Another 1 year passed and some shit like that. And Bulma was like 16 in the beginning. After training, I think Goku should have been like 15 and like Bulma and Yamcha should have been like 20 or some shit. But they did not change at all. Except for Bulma getting like a shorter hair for a little bit. And I'm talking about the original Dragon Ball. I'm not talking about Dragon Ball Z. This did change during like one of the later time skips where you can actually see the characters grow up, especially Goku as well. It just sometimes doesn't really make sense. It feels really like inconsistent if that makes sense. Sometimes the characters look, you know, grown up as their age, and sometimes they look way younger, and I don't know, it feels weird. That's what I think. But when I was watching the first half of Dragon Ball Z, I just finished the part where Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time. So I don't know, for the people that know, that's where I am. And like right after that, in Dragon Ball Z, you can definitely tell the characters are of age, and like, so that is an improvement, I would say. I think my biggest point, and that's also why I don't like long ongoing shonen shows, is that the story just gets repetitive and it's just really simple. I mean, it is a shonen, so it should be like that, but I feel like there could be a little bit more, you know? I was gonna make this like, you know, the biggest thing, but especially it's because it's an old show. It is one of the trendsetters of the whole genre. I can't really blame the anime for this, you know, because it is something that is one of the first. I don't think much can be said there because I feel like I would get into spoilers if that's the case, but let's just say if the original Dragon Ball had like 30 more episodes to it, I would have gotten kind of tired of it. As I said before, I am kind of spoiled, especially with the things we have nowadays and with how short anime can be and how short and like compact and complex. I feel like it's kind of me complaining about Solo Leveling having like no story after reading a lot of manhwas and titles that came after Solo Leveling. I will get flamed for this, but I can recognize it having a lackluster story, you know, but I won't hold it accountable since it's the cause of something much greater, you know, the cause of many greater series in the future. And I can say the same thing about Dragon Ball, you know, I can complain about it being like repetitive and just simple as fuck. Without Dragon Ball, we wouldn't have Demon Slayer, let's just say that. Or we wouldn't have Chainsaw Man, or name any shonen, you know. Without Dragon Ball, we wouldn't have those. That's what I'm getting at. And like, I don't mind it, but I can still appreciate it, right? I can still appreciate solo leveling in Dragon Ball, for example, but I can still say it's shit though when people start glazing it for no reason. Like, I can appreciate it, but come on, it doesn't have a better story than some of the future titles, man. That's just not true. That is just not true at all. TLDR, I've been yapping way too much. Story is but I'm still gonna watch it because, you know, I feel like I need to respect the anime and still give it a good try at least, since it is one of the, you know, animes that influence other shows. Okay, it may seem like I'm only complaining. I'm not only negative about it, okay? I know I can shit on anime a lot. I genuinely do think it is a fun watch. Like, some arcs genuinely had me, like, you know, invested. I was always curious about the new techniques they will develop, like the new martial art techniques these characters will develop. That is the one thing that has always, you know, interested me the most. And the progression of the characters as well. And, you know, it also helped that I recently got into the Dragon Ball FighterZ game. I can now actually say that I watched Dragon Ball. I do, however, think the real story is gonna start in Dragon Ball Z, but who knows what's gonna happen. I'm only halfway there and it can only get better. I just hope it doesn't get too repetitive, because that will just be the downfall of me just dropping the series. Okay, final conclusion in short. I mean, it's alright. I don't hate it, but I'm hoping it will be better in the next seasons, or, you know, the next arcs. If you'd like to give me your opinion about what you think of Dragon Ball, or anything that I said about Dragon Ball, you can flame me in the comments, or just leave a comment about what you think. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye bye. I think I'm gonna get flamed on this video.
足が悪いねばならない先へ先へ聞きなさい友じゃなきたくなりたい